not later. Right now. I don't know if y'all know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win.
What's up, everybody? This is Prime Sports Media. Thank you for being here. And once again, you can hear Coach Prime breaking it down, saying, I don't know if you know it, but we're going to win, and we're going to win right now. And I think he's correct because he's doing a great job with bringing in great players. You see them working out, they're practicing. And I'm going to tell you, there's an advantage to what's happening to those players on the molecular level, meaning the DNA level. And I'm going to show you why. This is going to be science today, because Colorado has a distinctive advantage playing in the environment because of the high altitudes and how it affects the body when one is playing. And by them practicing in this environment, it's conditioning them and getting them used and acclimated to the environment, which the opponents coming into Boulder Stadium will not be able to do very well with the environment and the high altitudes that can have an effect on breathing. Less oxygen in the body means less oxygen to get the muscles up and going. And this is what this video is about today. I'm going to be showing you a variety of different clips to reinforce my point, and various inspirational clips from Coach Prime talking to his players, talking about his players, and they're building something special here. One of the things I want to remind you of, if you are a fan of the NFL, you will remember this picture here. There is Von Miller, a hell of a linebacker with the Denver Broncos when he played for the Denver Broncos. And there he is with an oxygen bag on, trying to get oxygen into his system, because it can really fatigue you very sooner than later when you don't have enough oxygen coming into the body. Now, this is a man that you see here, that you just saw here on that picture, and here it is again, who has been acclimated when he played in Denver to play in this environment. But still, it can have an effect on you. So now I want you to imagine when you get people who come into Boulder in this stadium, when they play home games, the effects of the altitude of this environment is going to have on people coming here to play. It's very important. Let me show you another. This is another picture of the stadium, and you see someone's flying down, skydiving as they call it. Here's another picture, and I want you all to understand something right here. Colorado has an elevation of 5,360 elevation. We know that the Denver Broncos play at even a higher elevation at Mile High in that stadium. And this is going to work to Coach Prime's advantage in the team's advantage, because as these young men are working out every day, working hard in this environment to be the best that they can be, ladies and gentlemen, as you see right there, working hard. At the same time, there's some science happening to their body. There's some DNA. They're getting acclimated, whether they're indoors or outdoors. Here goes the example of the indoor facility, right? That's the indoor facility. It doesn't matter if they're practicing outside or indoors. They're still in the environment, and they're going to be acclimated to getting used to the lower oxygen levels. And what happens is that your body will adapt to that. Let me read something to you. This was an article entitled "The Highest Form of Home Field Advantage Which Colorado Will Have." Okay. And this is the point that I want to bring out here. On the football field, altitude is one of the highest forms of home field advantage that a team can have. An NFL stadium like Denver, you've got the Denver Nuggets. All these teams, whether it be the baseball team, all these teams have had some advantage in terms of the opponent coming in, and sometimes these opponents not being used to the environment. So while Coach has got these young men out here practicing the way he's doing it, okay, he is getting them ready. And what's special about this is that they will be able to handle this high elevation a lot better than those who have come into the stadium and have not played in this environment as long as they are. So their bodies are already getting adapted. This is called, I want you all to know what this is called here. Some people call this altitude sickness, okay? Altitude sickness can affect anybody regardless of their age, their physical physique. Not only can altitude sickness affect a player, but it helps football travel further. It will help the football to travel further. Now, Alejandro is their field goal kicker. He's their kicker. Let me show you something from him right now. This young man was recruited from Jackson State. He played with Coach Prime at Jackson State, and he can kick the hell out of a football. Watch what he's doing in practice now. With the air being scientifically thinner and that elevation with less oxygen, and your body has to adapt to that. Your red blood cells have to adapt. This young man will be superb as a kicker because he's already good, but now he's going to have the extra advantage of that thinner air in this environment. Watch him kick a ball right here. You see what I'm talking about? Now, he already can kick balls, but look at what this is going to add to his with this environment conditions that he's going to be getting used to as well as he continues to practice. Watch this.
He's still at it. He's still at it, ladies and gentlemen.
He's still at it.
It's like Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying? It's wet. It's wet.
Watch again. All right. Now, let me break this down to you. A kicking edge. Look, he already can kick. I've seen him at Jackson State. He's a hell of a kicker. That's why Coach Prime brought him over to Colorado. But this is the thing. The thinner air and elevation in this state makes it easier for kickers to get longer kicks because the air is thinner. Kicker's edge. Not only can altitude sickness kick in for teams that are visiting and not giving enough time to acclimate. So when these teams come into Colorado and they play Coach Prime and his guys, some of these teams are going to be impacted by the environment that they're not used to being in and playing in every day, as the players for Colorado are going to be acclimated to. This means a great advantage. Now, it doesn't mean that no team will be able to compete with them, but there will be a slight advantage to the environment that they are now used to playing in when they're out there doing the damn thing, okay? Now, check this out. Now, check this out. But elevation can have other side effects on the game itself. In football, being able to kick longer field goals and punts is most notable a difference, since the air is thinner, okay? In higher altitude, the ball can travel further, and as a result, this young man right here,
he's still at it. He's still at it, ladies and gentlemen.
Is going to do it.
It's like Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying? It's
right.
wet.
That young man, Alejandro, is going to do a very good job as a kicker for Colorado. And I think in that environment, he will have an advantage. Okay. Now, does that mean that the visiting team's kicker won't have some of the same advantage? Possibly. But then once again, Colorado's kicker and the players on this team are getting more acclimated to this environment. Okay. This environment, this stadium, all that it brings to the table is fantastic. Okay. Let me show you this video. It's a nice promo video, but I want to show you this video because it's a fantastic video. You can see them working hard. Coach Mo, strength and conditioning, is doing a hell of a job. Excellent, man. Let me give him a clap too. Coach Mo doing a hell of a job with the way he's getting these young men ready for the season. Check this out. Once again, when you watch this, when you watch all the videos I'm going to show you, I want you to think about the advantage that they will have playing in this environment, getting acclimated to this mile high or this thinness of air, which their bodies are going to have to adapt to. I want to read something else. This is very important. Scientists have long wondered whether environment stress like low oxygen concentrated can shape gene activity in highland people. So they did a study in which they studied people who live in highland places. And they say, if you're born in this kind of environment as a baby, or you live in this environment for long enough, once again, the human body will adapt, the genes will adapt. There'll be a change in your genome structure, a change in how the red blood cells are oxygenating. This is fantastic stuff, but watch this. And I want you to think about how they are adapting to the environment and the advantage that it will give them come game day and come this season.
Dominate on three. 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Go, go. Right.
Right. There it is. Fantastic stuff on this stadium. Fantastic stuff. This stadium is going to give them an advantage just in the same way that the Denver Broncos have an advantage in their NFL football stadium. And keep this in mind. It doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete, amateur athlete, college athlete, whatever we want to call it. You will be impacted by this environment if you have not been able to adapt to it. And visiting teams will not have the ability to adapt to it as quickly as the players at Colorado. So I want y'all to really look at what I'm showing you. Here's another video where they're working out in the hot sun, and you can see guys are getting tired. Guys are kind of coughing up. But think about the conditioning, that the environment plus the practice, and how this is preparing Colorado and Coach Prime for the upcoming season. I'm telling somebody right now, and I'm telling you right now, y'all about to ask somebody, because we are coming. Watch this. All right. Once again, they're doing the damn thing. So once again, these practices are not only getting them ready physically, acclimated to the playbook, get them the strength, the body stronger, get the mind stronger, get the emotional will stronger, strength and conditioning, the whole 9 yards. But now, being outside in the environment, their lungs, their DNA and their genes are now adapting to this environment, which will give them a clear advantage come this season when they go against some really good teams that'll be coming into Boulder. So this is very exciting. Let's watch another practice. You're going to hear Coach Prime talk about how he should have participated in his younger years in the long jump. And then I think it's really endearing as to what he said, because this man's an all-world athlete. Let's just keep it real, okay? But once again, pay attention to the fact that when you see these players exercising, going through their practice drills, their bodies are constantly adapting to this environment that they're in. Watch this right here. This is a good one right here too, folks. Here we go.
That's the only thing I didn't do. I didn't long jump. In college, I made a mistake and, got the MVP of the Metro Track league. I won 100, 200, 4x1. But I should have did the long jump. I actually think I'd have jumped that pit and just walked off, man.
That's Coach Prime again. I think that because he has both the ability to be very serious with his players, very stern. You see him right there being very playful and talking about how he should have ran the long jump, although he became a top track star when he was at Florida as well. He has all the makings for great things, or he did become a great player in his own right. So Coach Prime, as he is laid back during the practice, can also be very stern and letting these guys know when they did something wrong and there's a price to pay. Once again, they're in the environment. And while they're in this environment, I want you all to think about the fact that there's something changing in their DNA structure, gene-wise, because of the low elevation of the environment that they're in, that will give them an advantage going forward this season. Remember, in the 90s, when Colorado was a really great program, one of the top programs in the country, they had a very strong advantage in this stadium that you see right here. They had an advantage. So the goal is to get back to that advantage. But when you've got the dogs that Coach Prime now has, and you've got people with the will to want to win and have the right attitude, okay, the right practice attitude, the right techniques that Coach Prime is depending on them to live up to. Watch here as Coach Prime had to sort of discipline them, and you can read into it however you like, but check it out.
Go get him.
Hey, take it up.
Tyler Brown, Jacob Page, Zach Blackwood, Charlo, Gavin Marsh,
They're all in trouble.
Andy Eaton. Y'all know what it is. I don't have to tell you what it is. Y'all know what it is. If I'm calling y'all, you know what it is. You know what you done.
You got a rough day today, Coach Prime.
You think you rough now? Savion.
Interesting. So you can see Shallow saying to Coach Prime, his father, hey, it's been a rough day. He says, well, it's going to get rougher. Now, this, once again, what's happening with practices being tougher and what Coach Prime demanding more of his players, once again, they're in an environment that they are going to adapt to, which I think is going to make them a really good football team in the long run. But I think in the short term, when they play at home, going forward in the long term as well, they're going to have this advantage over teams coming in. You still have to play the games. We know games still have to be played on the field, and you got to execute the playbook, the plan, and you got to be mentally involved with game because the game of football is a game of inches, but it's a game of mental capacity. Okay. Now I'm going to play this particular news clip where you have a exercise or a scientist, athletic trainer, scientist, who explains even better than I could have explained this whole issue about the altitude and how it affects the body and how it can also be an advantage to you. And I want you all to hear this. And I think this is it gets right to the point. And here we go.
Start with the science.
The partial pressure of oxygen in the air is less, which means that there's less oxygen in the blood for your muscles to use and your heart and lungs to use.
Kathy Zawanski is the director of endurance sports at the Fast Lab, working with athletes every day to improve their performance, knowing just how much altitude can impact those athletes coming from sea level.
They'll have a higher heart rate for the same amount of work they would have at sea level. Their respiration, or how frequently they're breathing, is increased, and their ability to recover from a higher intensity exercise is compromised.
Plus, she says athletes who live and play every day at altitude have an acclimated advantage within their own bodies.
We have more red blood cells, we have more hemoglobin on our red blood cells that allow you to carry more oxygen. There's a whole hormonal cascade that happens as you get acclimated. That trains your body to be able to more efficiently use the lower amount of oxygen that's here.
All right. Did you hear what she said? She said that the longer you train in this environment, particularly in Colorado, the more your body becomes acclimated, your blood cells, and you become a little bit more adapt to the stressors of the environment. And that stressor is that you're dealing with a situation with high altitudes where there's less oxygen, and your body needs oxygen to keep things going stable. So when you have other players that come in, as I said before, they are at a real big advantage. And I think that Coach Prime and Colorado need to use this to their advantage. And I'm pretty sure when they're in practices, they're in, team meetings, that Coach Prime and the athletic trainers, maybe Coach Mo, is stressing that you guys are going to have a great advantage in this environment at Boulder, Colorado. Let me show you another inspirational video from Coach Prime. And I want you again to think about the video that you just seen earlier in terms of the players adapting to this environment. This is about the expectations that Coach Prime has for this team. And in this clip, you're going to see the players being willing to say, you know what? Our practice today was a C grade. We didn't do as good as because he is bringing expectation, folks. I want you to hear this right now.
Himself a C. I let them grade themselves. I think they gave themselves a C.
Don't take today's C grade as a negative. Not only is there room to grow, but the accountability of this program has reached a whole new level.
I'm old school, man. I come from the place you got to earn it. My school closed I went school shopping. I had to get a job and work and earn that. And that's why I appreciate those kind of things. That's why my kids have to earn things. Everything they've gotten in life, they had to earn it and work for it.
One of the benefits of the NCAA, especially right now, is that a coach really can revamp his roster through the transfer portal, and that is something that head coach Deion Sanders has done. He's brought his son, he's brought Travis Hunter, and he's brought a litany of other players here to Boulder, Colorado. Now the key is to make sure that they have chemistry both on and off the field.
They are getting to know one another, and they're building and establishing relationships, but more so than that, they're holding one another accountable, and they're building trust. I want more than that. I want it to be more than a team. I want to be something to behold. It's something you got to prepare for. Really sit down and prepare for. I don't want just a football team. Yeah, I look at this thing totally different than just being a team.
Where's Shador? Shador? And this is your quarterback, all right?
When Coach Prime came to Boulder, so too did his star quarterback son Shador, the son.
All right, everybody. So let's go back. Deion Sanders, once again, they have him rated at number 8 in the Pac-12. And remember in my last video, I said that they have Coach Prime rated at number 7 overall as a coach in the Pac-12. I think that those numbers should be higher, but that's just me. I have a lot of enthusiasm about myself, a lot of focus, a lot of belief that Coach Prime and what he's doing at Colorado is going to work. Keep this in mind too. His son, Deion Sanders, he's also, once again, as a quarterback, he's getting adapted to this environment, which is only going to make him stronger as a quarterback within this environment when he's playing games at home. So it's going to have, I think, very interesting, I think, positive impact. Okay. And this is why it's important for them to be training the way they're doing and getting themselves ready and prepared mentally, emotionally, spiritually. All these things are very key. Let me show you a clip from Deion Sanders when he was at Jackson State talking about how he wants to get his body stronger and get more prepared for the season. This is a short little clip right here. Check this out.
Now, or even better than I was this spring. Just getting stronger, get my legs stronger.
All right. Once again, Shedeur Sanders is already a beast of a football player. I think practicing in this environment is only going to make him absolutely more dangerous than he already is, because he's going to get stronger in this. He's talking about getting stronger in that clip. Well, playing in this environment can only work to the advantage of Shedeur Sanders, his brother at quarterback, and Shallow Sanders at defensive back. As you see him working out in practice with a great smile on his face, Shallow Sanders is going to adapt very well to the environment. And I think the environment with the high altitude can only make him better suited for the reality. I think for all of us, I show you these clips right here, for all of the players at Colorado, I think it's only going to make them stronger. As you see there, they're working out in that environment and better. Check out these clips right here. I want you to watch all these clips. Check that out. Think about what the environment is doing to them and how they are adapting every day that they're out there practicing in this environment. Their lung capacity is getting better. Their ability to deal with the higher altitudes is getting better. The less oxygen that other teams coming in, their players will have a difficult time being able to really foster themselves in this environment. You see them working out, hitting the weights. This is very important, what I'm showing you. Very important. I think great things are coming to this program. As you can see, I believe that's wide receiver Jimmy Horn. Working and being in this environment is only going to work out for Colorado's players. I think Coach Prime being in this environment, getting used to breathing this air or that low oxygen, is only going to, he is adapting to the environment as well. We're all trying to adapt to this environment, to the idea of they can win and they can win now. And we should not put any limits on this football team. And we should not let the critics out there, the naysayers, try to tell us, as those that are fans of the Colorado football team, fans of Coach Prime and all the players that are there, we should not let anybody try to demonize us in any kind of way for believing in this football team and what this football team stands for. And I do sincerely mean that, because I'm going to show you another clip, another workout clip that once again is going to prove dividends for this football team and environment. And check this out. Once again, in the environment, working out. These guys are serious about what they're trying to do out there. These guys are going to be in great condition for the season. They're going to be in great spiritual, mental capacity, ability to think. Coach Prime wants thinking players on his team. He wants guys that are strong, fast, intelligent, that know what they're doing. Coach Prime is not playing any games whatsoever. He is building something that we should all keep in mind. With that said, let me go ahead and show you another motivational speech by Coach Prime. I'm going to say it again. This is powerful information that I've got here. This is powerful. When you have this kind of environment, altitude sickness will affect the visiting team when they come into the Boulder Stadium. Altitude sickness will have a less effect on Colorado's players because they're already out there adapting themselves to the environment, so they will have less. I'm not saying it won't have an effect, but it will have less of an effect because they're getting used to the environment each and every day that they're practicing and walking around the facilities. Altitude sickness can affect anybody, professional athletes, no exception. Every athlete who is considered the fittest of all people can succumb to dehydration, nausea, headaches, fatigue, and loss of appetite or sleep when traveling into a mountain or a higher elevation. And we see right here are the mountains again. Look at the mountains. They're beautiful in Boulder. Look at that. Look at those mountains. They're beautiful. Look at those mountains. Okay? When you travel into that type of environment, there's more opportunity for you to have headache, fatigue, to be more tired, have less appetite, not to be able to sleep as well when traveling into that mountainous type of environment. Check this out. This occurs because the amount of pressure in the atmosphere, as the scientists said as well, drops at higher altitude, and the pressure drops. There is less oxygen available for you to breathe. And in Denver, Colorado, where the Denver Broncos play, check this out. In Denver, there is approximately 17% less effective oxygen available in an atmosphere than at sea level, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the man himself, Von Miller, even though he's playing in that environment, when he played for Denver, he goes all out, plays hard. He needed to have an oxygen mask there. I would imagine that Coach Prime and Colorado, their athletic department, will have oxygen bags on the sideline for the players, because there's one thing to practice in this environment and get acclimated, but there's another when you're playing at full speed. So it's going to take them a while still, even at full speed, to get more and more used to the environment. I find this very interesting, and I want everybody to leave me a comment on this video as to what your thoughts about what I've just presented to you. Because I find it, I'm going to keep it real with you. I find it fascinating. Let's hear Coach Prime give one of his motivational speeches here, shall we?
You gotta want it, you gotta work it, and then ultimately you're gonna win it. You gotta want it, you're gonna work it, you're gonna win it. We're gonna find out who you are, as well as being attentive in meetings. We're gonna find out who want it, who want to understand the assignments and alignments and the reads, the different calls that we have, how quick, how smart, fast, tough, disciplined you are. We're gonna find out that. Right now, you all are on an audition, man. You gotta want this. You gotta want it, and we're gonna be able to tell if you want it or not. You gotta work. You gotta work. Every coach in here has worked their butts off, right? The staff knows what it's doing. And we're gonna be your navigational system. We know how to get there. And if you don't believe, you're in the wrong room. If you don't want it, you're in the wrong room. If you're not willing to work, you're in the wrong room. Because we're gonna do it. I ain't got time. I know I look good, but I'm 55. I ain't got time. I ain't got time to build. I ain't got time to wait on you to mature. I ain't got time to wait on you to get it right. We want to get guys who do it.
That's right. He wants young men that want to win and win now. With that said, everybody, I want to thank you for listening to this video. Do me the biggest favor and share this video in all of your social media. And go ahead and share this in your community tab. If you are a content creator, I would appreciate that. Share it in all social media. And do me the biggest favor. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you are a new viewer. And I also want to shout out all of my supporters out there that I have. People who have subscribed to this channel. You make this channel do what it do. And I'm going to keep giving you high quality content. And what I do with this channel is get a little bit more analytical about how we look at the upcoming season. And I think Coach Prime is ready to go. I want you to remember that there's nothing wrong with Coach Prime being serious with his players, as I'm going to show you something, and at the same time being playful with his players. What do I mean by that? Let me let you see this video right here with him and his son, Deion Sanders.
They informed on you today too, partner.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, I stand on business. At the end of the day. That's what I do. I stand on business. If I had to redo anything and do it again, I wouldn't.
Why don't you shave? Redo that.
I think you did haircut.
You still have to long?
Easy on the push pop. Easy.
You doing what?
Easy on the
Hey, like I said, that's why he keeps things nice and balanced there, because he knows when to put his foot on the gas with the players and mean business, and he knows how to be very fatherly and joke with them. He keeps a very fine balance, and I think that's why the players respect him. And I expect great things out of this football team this year. So with that said, again, thank you, everybody. And this has been great making these videos and talking about this particular issue. Think about what I'm saying when it comes to the home field advantage that Colorado will have and have had in the past. Let's see it through. I appreciate you all. Take care.
You got to understand, we're going to win right now, not later. Right now. Some of y'all know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win. You got to understand, we're going to win right now, not later. Right now.